lot of you guys know me as Red Mech on the forums. Ross is my name. And I'm wanting to put together a video on bow drill. And I never did do my first bow drill until May of 2011 at the Hardwoodsman's meet. And I picked up a lot of tips and tricks, I guess you'd call, from Iz Turley, Iowa Woodsman, Ranger Joe, KGD, and a lot of the little tricks seem to get lost in the tutorials. And I'm not going to go over wood selection so much as just some of the little tips and tricks I picked up and none of these are my original. They're all ones I've learned, but I'm just wanting to throw a few of them together to try to help out some new people that are just getting into friction fire. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff I use that seems to make it go a little bit easier, and maybe this might help out somebody. So maybe I can try to pay it forward from the guys that showed me a lot of the tricks that I learned. So here it is. Now I'm going to go over some of the stuff that I use. Now a lot of this stuff I'm not trying to go all natural or anything like that, but I'll show you some different stuff. Now the first thing I've got here is a piece of cottonwood bark that I learned from them guys. This is what it looks like as it comes off the tree, like that there. And this is just a small piece that I knocked down, and I no more than just took the point of my knife and kind of drilled it in there a little bit to make a divot, and that'll use that as my bearing block. This is a great piece of gear that makes the friction fire so much easier. This works really good. This I've done quite a few coals, little fires with this guy since I've built it, and it just keeps going and going, and it really does a great job. I tried using a piece of hedge there for one of the Hardwoodsman's requirements, and I gotta say this made things really tough. There's a lot of friction there. I thought hedge would be hard enough that it would work, but it didn't work like I had hoped. Now my tinder bundle, for learning and just practicing, this is no more than jute twine. It's been stripped. I took a 4-foot chunk or so and I cut it down to about 4-inch lengths, and I just bundled it up and made a bird's nest out of it. And that's just that jute twine that's frayed up, and I'll use it for my tinder bundle. There's all sorts of natural stuff you can use, but when you're learning and practicing, it's good to get some instant gratification with a tinder bundle you know will work. And once you get proficient at putting coals out, or even just kind of decent like where I'm at on putting coals out, then you can start playing with some of your natural tinders. But this is nothing more than just jute twine I bought at Walmart. I don't know, $3 or $4. It's not very expensive, and it'll last you a long time. So, and then when you're just practicing, I'll even just use a piece of foil to catch my coal. You know, you're not going to find foil out in the woods, but for what we're doing here, all you got to do is have something to catch a coal. And I'm just here in my basement this morning putting this together. I'm going to use sycamore on sycamore, and I've used both of these before, but your standard, this is the bearing block side. You want a sharp point for your bearing block side, and I've made a little bit smaller there, and you want kind of a flat point there. So that's that. One other thing on as far as bow selection that I have found works for me is this is one I've used quite a bit, and to me a straight bow works better, but that's just what works for me. And if you can find a branch with a Y, that makes it great, so there's no chance at all it'll slip on one side. Then on the other end, I'll just cut it off at an angle and then I'll drill a hole through there and out the other side, just using my farmer, using the awl on the Swiss Army knife farmer model, and that does a good job of drilling a hole. But I found that the straight drill is a little bit easier to point and control than a curved drill. But once again, guys, I'm no expert, and this is just what works for me. And hopefully someone can pick up something from it. But you can just run that string through the hole. See how that string goes through the hole right there? And I'll go back and I'll go over it a couple times, and that does a pretty decent job of not slipping. So that's some of that. You know, right there I've got it burnt in. I'm going to cut my notch, and I'll come back to this and pick it up from there.